Hello, I'm Sinise. You're about to be introduced to a group of extraordinary individuals who bravely stepped forward to serve their country. From World War I through the greatest generation of World War II, flying propeller-driven aircraft to the male and female pilots maneuvering sophisticated jet aircraft and helicopters over the skies of Iraq and Afghanistan, military aviators have always captured a special place in the hearts and minds of Americans. While the vast majority of these aviators have demonstrated extraordinary honor, only the best and most courageous are awarded a Distinguished Flying Cross. The Distinguished Flying Cross has been awarded to such notables as Charles Lindbergh, Amelia Earhart, President George H.W. Bush, Tuskegee Airman General Benjamin O. Davis, General Jimmy Doolittle, actor James Stewart, and numerous astronauts including John Glenn and James Lovell. However, the individuals who received a Distinguished Flying Cross represent a microcosm of American society, transcending gender, race, and social status. Each Distinguished Flying Cross recipient performed beyond the call of duty during high-risk endeavors in rapidly changing environments. Each individual made a commitment to the achievement of the assigned mission beyond all considerations. And each individual developed an unwavering loyalty to his or her brethren as they put their country above their own lives while they changed the course of history. Thousands have distinguished themselves under fire and in the line of duty. America owes a debt of gratitude to these heroes who quietly yet proudly wear the Distinguished Flying Cross. These are their stories.
My name is Steve Pisanos, and I was born in Athens, Greece, and I came to this wonderful country when I was 18 years old. I had a dream that I wanted to become an aviator, and that was my dream. When the war started in Europe, I learned that the RAF was in this country, recruiting American civilian pilots to fight the Luftwaffe. It was then when a friend of mine told me where to go and inquire.
Pisanos was later granted U.S. citizenship and became a pilot in the Air Force, flying low-altitude strafing missions using P-51 Mustangs.
We used to take off from England, fly about 10 feet above the English Channel, above the water, sneak into France, and intercept locomotives or any other military vehicles and shoot them up. It was very, very dangerous, and we lost many guys. I sat down 10 enemy aircraft, 6 Me-109s and 4 FW-190s. In a dogfight, you had no time to think. You had only time to act. On the 5th of March, they decided to send us down to Bordeaux, France, escorting some B-17s. We got down there and we got into a fight. After I left, I got separated from my friends over Bordeaux, and I got on my way home. I was coming up over Le Mans. I remember, when my engine began to be acting very, very rough. Then south of Le Havre, the engine quit, and I gave Mayday. I lost my radio there, and the Germans from below were shooting at me with all the flak they had. I panicked. I was scared.
With his engine dead and no hope of returning to England, Pisanos turned backwards and continued his invariable emergency descent into the occupied French countryside. He was about to crash in enemy territory.
I released my canopy. I released my harness inside the cockpit, and I tried to stand up to put my left foot on the left wing, then slide down the wing while I pull my cord after I count 10. I had trimmed the aircraft was coming down beautiful, and I was about less than 2,000 feet now. And then, thank God, I looked ahead and I can see cattle, cows all over the countryside there. And I said to myself, I can't bail out now. I must have been about 300-400 yards, above the ground. After clearing the roof of the barn, the aircraft approached the ground, the right wing hit the ground, I was thrown through the propeller, tumbling in the air, and that's where I crash landed. When I came to it, I said, my God, I'm still alive. I tried to stand up, and the pain was so bad, I thought I was bleeding. And all of a sudden, I heard the automatic firing. I said, my God, I said, somebody's firing. And I looked up and I can see way down there, 2 German soldiers were coming towards my aircraft.
After eluding German capture, Pisano spent weeks in hiding with the French resistance before he finally reached freedom.
I was in graduate school at the University of California at Berkeley, and Korea broke out. I was engaged at the time, and so since I had an AB in economics, I tried to get a commission. Went into the Air Force. I didn't realize at the time that I would necessarily be flying combat, but I think that paid maybe $50 more or something like that. But we flew F-51Ds. They were old retreads or mothballs from World War II. The F-51's a very good aircraft. It's fun to fly, but you have to fly it. You can snap roll and things like that if you don't know what you're doing, and yet it was a good plane. It was a fun plane to fly.
On December 12, 1952, First Lieutenant Deal flew a mission for which he would receive the Distinguished Flying Cross. Deal received word of a massive troop movement in the area. His team would need to mobilize quickly in order to take advantage of this target of opportunity.
It was an area that was fairly hot, and it was evidently a troop buildup. That was our mission. We had 4 aircraft on the way to the target. 2 of my number 4 man called in saying he had a very rough engine. I asked number 3 if he would escort him back to our base. So the 2 went back, and we didn't know whether we should continue the mission.
With his team split in half, Deal's diluted formation would be at a disadvantage and potentially vulnerable to ground attack.
The thing about small arms, though, you don't see rifle flashes. That's a little scary because you don't realize how much you're taking in the way of small arms, unless it happens to be dark, and then you can see a little bit of that. But probably just as important to the safety of the flight was not crashing into the ground.
Although taking heavy small arms fire, the depleted team was able to knock out several enemy targets.
We knocked out an observation post and got some automatic weapon stations at that time, and we came around, used our rockets. We were very fortunate. It was a good mission. The thing about that mission, which was always interesting to me, because I found out later that I got a Distinguished Flying Cross for it, all of our missions were about the same, except if you were lucky, you got an important mission. You got one that really helped the war effort. I left Korea in, I believe it was in March, and I had a wife and a baby I hadn't seen, because we had our first child while I was in Korea. I think it was about 6:30 that I was on the front door and knocking, and she was up feeding the child, and that's quite an emotional time. Probably as good a time as I spent in the Air Force, I think.
Armando Espinosa was born in Mexico and became a naturalized citizen of the United States. In 1987, he enlisted in the Marine Corps.
I was part of Operation Storm Desert Shield. We went through and liberated Kuwait.
After the Gulf War, Espinosa realized his dream of becoming an aviator. He completed his helicopter training just as America was thrust into a new conflict.
Well, when I was sent to Iraq, you're obviously a little bit angry. You are scared. You're going into war. I have a family back home, and when you say goodbye to them, that may be the last time you get to see them or they see you.
On April 10th, 2003, Major Espinosa was ordered to provide multiple day and night casualty evacuation missions into Baghdad. It would be an experience he had trained for since the first day he entered boot camp.
It was approximately 5 o'clock in the morning. We were flying just to the east of Baghdad, and as the sun was coming up, and you could definitely see that there was some action going on.
Major Espinosa followed his coordinates into the conflict zone of Baghdad. Despite taking enemy fire from the ground, it was his mission to evacuate wounded soldiers and deliver them to the MASH unit.
There's Marines running around building to building. There's tanks firing into buildings. We land at the LZ, start loading the casualties at that point, take off, and we basically depart Baghdad the same way we came in. But as soon as we land, they know we're coming. There's crews, ambulances running out to our aircraft, ready to receive the casualties. Upon our arrival there, another Marine comes out, gives us another piece of paper with the grid location of more casualties in the city. We identify that as the same location where we just previously came out of.
Undaunted, Espinosa headed back into the erupting city to aid the casualties.
Fatigue's pretty high. We've been flying since about 5 o'clock in the morning, and by now it's approximately 10 o'clock.
Landing multiple times under enemy fire, they loaded casualties, provided suppressive cover, and conducted evasive maneuvers en route back to the medical evacuation points. In all, the 2 helicopters rescued 28 Marines and the family of 7 Iraqi nationals.
When I was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross, I didn't accept it for myself. I accepted for everybody, for my squadron, not just pilots. It was really a team effort. It goes on my chest, but that medal belongs to every member of that squadron for putting those aircraft up in the air.
Distinguished Flying Cross is a very important medal to have somebody, meaning the Air Force, actually recognize that we had an important mission, that we did something right.
I am extremely proud of the success I found in America and proud to have become a citizen of this great country.
We believe in the country. I'm glad that I had the opportunity to serve it.
This country has done a lot for me. It's done a lot for my family.
The opportunity Uncle Sam gave me to fulfill not only my dream of becoming an aviator, but achieve greatness far beyond imagination.
I don't think I can do enough for this country to repay it for what it's done for me.